You ever thought about a place so cheap, it feels too good to be true? A place where every corner hides a secret? Tonight's story isn't just about a cheap room, it's about a deadly trap. Once you step inside, you might never leave. Get ready, because what's about to happen will haunt you long after the story ends. I was scrolling through online listings when I found it. $15 a night in a city where even coffee costs more. The first thing that caught my eye was the host profile picture. Just a gray silhouette, no face, no smile. Still, I was broke, exhausted, and desperate. It was either this strange room or sleeping at the bus station. The boarding house was squeezed between two crumbling buildings, almost invisible to the world. The front door's paint was peeling like old skin. I knocked once, twice, no answer. Then, with a soft creak, the door slowly opened on its own. Standing in the dim hallway was a woman, pale, thin, with eyes like wet ash. Her smile twitched unnaturally, like someone pulling invisible threads at the corners of her mouth. "You're the new guest," she said, her voice flat and certain. I nodded. "Yeah, I'm Luke." Without another word, she turned and glided silently up the narrow staircase, her footsteps making no sound. Room 3 was small and bare, just a mattress, a chair, and a cracked mirror. The air reeked of mold and mothballs. I had stayed in worse places, but one thing felt wrong: the closet. It was nailed shut, with 4 rusty nails hammered deep into the wood. When I asked the woman about it, she simply said, "It's best not to open things that want to stay closed," flashing that twitching, string-pulled smile again. The next day, I met another guest, Mason from room 1. Always wearing a hoodie, his eyes flickered around like he was waiting for something or running from it. Room 2 was empty. "I thought there was another guest?" I asked him. Mason just shook his head and muttered, "There was." I didn't press him for more. That night, the scratching began. It wasn't the quick, skittering noise of rats or mice. It was slow, deliberate, like fingernails dragging across the inside of the closet. I sat up, my heart pounding. The sound stopped the moment I moved. The closet was still shut tight, the nails in place. But I knew something was inside, waiting. I didn't sleep a second. By the 3rd morning, Mason was gone. His door was closed. No answer when I knocked. I went downstairs to find the woman stirring something thick and gray in a pot. "Mason, did he leave?" I asked. She didn't look up. "He left early this morning," she said. "But his stuff's still up there." I started, but her voice cut me off. "He left. Cold. Final. No room for questions." That night, the scratching returned louder than before. And this time, I heard something else whispers. Wet, suffocating whispers that pressed against my ears. I couldn't understand the words, but the feeling they brought was enough to freeze me in place. I found a hammer under the kitchen sink and sat by the closet, gripping it tightly. By 3 in the morning, I couldn't take it anymore. I pulled the nails out one by one. The door swung open with a long groan, and a foul stench poured out rot, damp soil, and beneath it, something sickly sweet. The darkness inside seemed endless. Then I saw it carved into the wood over and over, desperate and deep. "Don't stay past 3." My body moved before my mind could catch up. I packed everything I had in seconds and rushed downstairs. The woman was waiting at the foot of the stairs, holding a plate of something unrecognizable. "Leaving?" she asked with that strained smile. "Yeah," I said quickly. "I've got an early bus." She didn't move. She didn't stop me. She just watched. As I gripped the doorknob, I heard it again scratching. But this time, it wasn't coming from upstairs. It came from the basement. I froze for a heartbeat. Then I ran. I didn't look back. Not once. A week later, against every instinct, I returned. Just to see. Just to convince myself it was real. The house still crouched between its neighbors, like a spider waiting for prey. But the listing was gone. No record, no contact. It was as if the house had never been advertised at all. I climbed the steps. The door was locked. As I turned to leave, I looked up at the window of room 3. Someone was staring down at me. It was me. My face, my clothes, my wide, horrified eyes. But my reflection, my other self, wasn't moving. It was screaming silently behind the glass. I stumbled back in terror and ran until my legs gave out. Now, I wake up every morning in a room exactly like it. Same moldy smell, same peeling paint, same closet, nailed shut. Every morning, the woman brings food I don't touch. Every night, I hear the scratching, the whispers. I don't remember arriving here. I don't remember ever leaving. Sometimes when I stare into the cracked mirror, I see myself outside looking in, trapped, screaming. I think the house made a copy of me. It sent it back into the world and left the real me here, in this room, listening, rotting, waiting.